I don't know why I have such a hard time with final exams. Because growing up, I used to be the sharpest shed in the toolbox.
Just you know why you and I will by and by know true love ways.
So as I was saying, it's senior year. I'm taking a final exam for my economics class. And the first question is on this thing called the multinomial... Wait, hey Adrian? I think it's multinomial. Huh. It's on the multinomial logit... Wait. Hey Joe? Is it logit or logit? It's logit. Multinomial logit regression? The first question is on this thing, which according to Wikipedia is basically a classification method used to predict the probabilities of the different possible outcomes of a categorically distributed dependent variable. What the hell? To be honest with you, I still don't understand this thing. I mean, come on, look at its name. I only recognize one of those words. The. And the equation is even crazier than the definition. Like, what is that? You can imagine how confused I'm feeling because here I am trying to take an economics class, so why in the world is my professor testing me on advanced hieroglyphics? Now, to be fair, my professor did briefly teach this in one of the classes, so I'm not mad that it's on the exam. What bothers me is that in the week before, he gave us a practice test to help prepare for the final. And on the practice test, this thing was only worth 3 points out of 100. Whereas in the actual final, the professor makes it worth 50% of the entire exam. This twisted little, it has like 26 subparts from A to freaking Z. And if you can't do part A, you can't do part B, and sure as heck can't do part Z. I feel like I'm getting blindsided. Anyway, I decide to skip the entire first question, which again is half the test. I start to panic because obviously, I'm already down 50%, and it's not even 10 minutes into the exam. But I'm not in full panic mode yet. Remember, I only need a 25% to pass this class. I still have a shot. So I look at the other questions, and oh boy, they are just as messed up. Oh no! I eventually go back to the first question, just to try it again. Do you ever do that? Skip to the next problem, realize you don't know that one either, and then go back to the first question thinking like, maybe it'll look different this time around. Yup, there it is. Totally makes sense now. So I'm looking at the first problem again, and then it hits me. You know that exhilarating feeling you get when something finally clicks in your head and you figure out how to solve the problem? 'Cause I don't. And it hits me that I'm about to fail this class. Which is no bueno, because I need to pass if I want to graduate. I look up at the professor, and I think he sees the despair in my eyes, because he has the creepiest grin I've ever seen. Okay, maybe it isn't that creepy, but it sure as hell ain't cute. I mean, look at him. Disgusting. And I think to myself, oh god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna fail me. Oh no. All of a sudden, I start feeling, pretty crappy. And not that little feeling of crappiness, I'm talking a billion tons of crappiness. I literally just sit there. And at this point, I'm not even trying to solve the question, because I don't know how. I sit there and have flashbacks to all those hours I spent playing Super Smash. Adrian, you idiot! You freaking... Oh my goodness. You've gone and done it this time, man. I can't even look at you right now. I'm pretty sure I'm going crazy from all the regret. Because I kid you not, I can hear a voice whispering in my ear, "You're going to fail." The clock hits 10, time is up. I turn in my test, and the entire first half is blank. I attempt like a third of the second half, but I know most of them are wrong. I'm partly convinced that I'm not going to graduate, so I feel awful. I go to my room, shut the door, and do the only thing I can do. I just play some more Super Smash. But it's to take my mind off the test. You have to understand, I feel miserable and need to cope. And what better way to cope with your failure than doing more of the very thing that caused you to fail? You see, I don't run away from my problems. I confront them. I embrace them. The crazy thing is, fast forward a few weeks later and guess what? Your boy's graduating. Now don't get me wrong, I did just as bad on that test as I feared. But apparently, so did everyone else. The professor must have felt bad because he ended up giving me all sorts of partial credit. So I was able to get the 25% that I needed to pass the class. But yeah, to my relief, everything worked out. And it was at that moment, when I was being handed my diploma on graduation day, that I realized an incredibly valuable lesson. Never regret playing Smash.